I came out, the audience was quiet. And that's when I realized they lost faith in me. I was like, okay, let me show you.
I mean, we're way past PR territory.
Yeah, I think we're sending it on this third one.
Oh, we're sending it. If I'm not mistaken, that is near 800 pounds. That's a 788 squat, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. The crowd, everyone is standing right now. Everyone is recording. This is one of the best squats probably in the world.
Jamar Royster, 357.5 kilos, squat, third attempt. SBD Raleigh 2024.
I can barely hear you, Leo, over the crowd right now. His second moved. Let's see this. Oh my God. He's done it. The dad to be, 357.5 kilos. Absolutely insane.
Here comes 197 here for Jamar Royster. Jamar jumping up 7.5 kilos. Now for Jamar, again, it's house money at this point. He tied his PR. This could be breaking it by quite a bit, 7.5.
I mean, he came out and absolutely just demolished his squat. He looks super healthy. We love to see a strong Jamar on the platform.
Oh, yeah.
Really strong.
All right. You know what we call that, Natalie?
What do we call it?
It's dad strength. Okay, that's dad strength. Yeah, no big deal. Hit him with a shrug real quick.
If he makes that third attempt.
That's right. Wow, the spread between fourth through first is insane. Again, assuming if they hit these numbers.
Jamar is looking at maintain in 6th place today.
Now for Jamar, this would be a 10 kilo PR.
It's moving. Wasn't it locked out? It was.
2 white lights.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. If you're new here, my name is Jamar Royster. I'm a recipe developer, food and product photographer, and powerlifter. The intro clip that you did see here was perfectly crafted and curated by the team over at SBD, Marshall, and Eddie, who came over and filmed it, and the SBD media team who edited and pieced the story together. Absolutely loved it. You can check it out on their YouTube page, SBD Apparel. It's all there for you to see. They also have Celine's up there as well. And just the whole Road to Raleigh series was like really great. That segment of it was really great. I just enjoyed the story that they were able to like tell with all the information that was given. It was just so awesome. But hey, we're back. I hate that I've taken so long off, but right after the meet that week after, I came down with the common cold, just sore throat and runny nose, and just needed some time off to just recover. And sometimes the body does that, man. But we are back, like I said, here, ready to give you guys a rundown and a breakdown of my SBD Raleigh meet. So finally, we are down to the meet recap. So I have it pulled up here on my phone, so I'll be watching it with you guys as it's going up on screen, just kind of talking to you through my thought process and everything here. But let's go ahead and get to the opening squat. So interesting enough, this meet was probably my most nerve-wracking meet for some reason. I don't know why. I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself, but this isn't something that's uncommon for me. And I think a lot of it was more so like, the idea that I had a potential to squat 800 on this day. The number wasn't really getting to me much. It was just more so like feeling a certain thing. And I was searching for a feeling that I normally get on meet day that I wasn't getting on this day. And typically that's high stress and high fatigue. So after a certain period of time of, cutting, I think the last 2 years were probably like some of the tougher cuts out of all the cuts I've ever had. It was probably some of the tougher cuts I had, which was the last 2 meets. And I'm searching for that like fatiguing shakiness, this feeling that I normally get on the day of the meet. And, you know, it's not that I want to feel those things, it's that I feel that I'm expected to feel those things because those became my normal. So I wasn't really feeling anything on this day. I woke up in the morning, went to the gym, did my normal routine type stuff. I did the reverse hyper, my mobility, just my normal routine. But yeah, anyway, came in, weighed in at 92 something, can't remember, I think 92.8 or something like that. But I just remember I was like, I want to set the tone for this meet. My opening attempt, we have to set the tone. We're going to open up with the current world record squat. And from that moment on, we're going to keep that energy high. And I wasn't going to let anyone take that away from me on that day, no matter what. I just needed the reassurance that I got this. And we're all good, you know. So Becca and Marcel did a great job reminding me that I'm that guy, right, when it comes to squats. So I came out with energy. I was hyped for it. The first squat's always the most nerve-wracking, and I think that's really what it is. And two, this was the highest I've ever opened in my entire career. So it's a lot of weight. And it's also the current world record squat.
Class.
Pound for pound, easily.
For pound.
337.5 kilos on the bar. This is a near 750-pound squat for a 93-kilo lifter.
Yeah, that thing moved so crazy. But fun fact, I was really wobbly on that lift. As much as I'm jumping and getting excited, I was really wobbly on that lift. So basically what I mean by that is when I hit the hole, I tilted a little bit too far forward and I was on my toes. So I was rocking back and forth between my toes and my heels, trying to find that center balance. And a lot of that is just nerves. And once the first squat's over with, we're in the meet, all that goes away. So you'll see that on my second attempt.
Easily. Jamar Royster, incredible. The Pancakegawd, for those of you who know, 345 kilos for Mr. Jamar Royster. 7.5 kilo jump for the Pancakegawd.
Trying to see what this is in American units. It's around like 760 pounds.
Oh, we got something today.
I had Marcellus calling all the calls for whatever he wanted. My primary goal of the day was to get the most out of my kilos. That was my primary goal for him. I was like, no matter what happens, this is the goal, and I need you to know that. No matter how hype I get, no matter how excited I get, call the right calls. That's all I need. So this one, I still come out. I'm not as like overly hyped as the first one because the first one sets the tone. The second one really shows us what we're going to have for the remaining attempt. So I still come out, still smack the bar at my chest. Stuff that I do in training, but maybe on the lower end of intensity. I definitely like calm down right before I get under the bar. And I just take my time and it just becomes a normal squat after that. So I walk it out. I'm like, okay, this feels good on my back. But it wasn't until I squatted this where I was like, oh, we're good today. So once I hit it, I come out the hole and oh my God, I was like, yeah, today's one of those days. I just knew. I was like, I didn't even go up to ask or to say anything to Marcellus to even give him any type of inclination that I wanted an 800 squat. I wanted every kilo out of my squat. My thing is, most of the time I want to know what I'm lifting though. Like I kind of need to know what I'm squatting. It's just something for me mentally. Like I need to know what the load is. We also know that my squats progress and look better the heavier they get. I can't tell you why that is. I mean, I probably could, and I'm not going to break that down right now, but in training, same thing goes. The same method goes. The more I squat, the better it just gets and looks. There are some athletes that don't want to know what they're lifting and just lift it. I'm not one of those. I need to know what the weight is. Knowing what the weight is doesn't affect me the same way it does some people who don't want to know what it is. I need to know what it is. I need to know how much I'm putting into this. I need to know what to expect. When it's in my hand or on my back or when I'm pulling it off the floor. I need to know how much I'm giving to this lift. Not that I'm not going to give my 100%, but each load is going to require something different. And if I don't know what that is in the beginning, I mean, what am I doing? So again, with the second attempt squat, that was already over the current world record squat. So, you know, we knew we already had like the unofficial world record in the bag, but that wasn't really the goal for the day. As I've said before, I just feel like the 93 squat record is just on the lower side of things. So for that to be an achievement, an accomplishment, I would have to like definitely squat that on an international stage, you know, because I know I'm a great squatter. It's not something that I'm ever concerned to worry about, but more so like how much more does Jamar have in him for the day is the big thing. So I come out for this third squat. I actually thought it was 793 pounds. I didn't know it was 788. I actually came in with the intention it was 793. So I was like, okay, you know, it's cool. It's not that big of a difference. You know, it's so close to 800. This is definitely probably where the top end is for the day. I'm glad Marcellus made these calls. So as soon as I picked it up, that was the crazy thing. It popped up off the combo rack and I was like, oh, okay. Boy, I need to rewind, because when I came out for this squat, man, the energy in the room was crazy. The intensity was high. Like, people were standing up. I couldn't really see the crowd because it was dark. The crowd was dark, like, but the platform was lit. But like, I could hear the noise. I could hear the screams. I could hear people. I was smiling. I was like, yeah, we got this in the bag. Like, I already knew I did. I just needed to have everything down technically, right? It wasn't a strength issue on the day. I just needed to make sure that everything was good from a technical standpoint. It was a beautiful squat, man. 788 pounds. And just to be able to do that basically in my backyard. This meet was in Durham, North Carolina. Again, for a lot of you guys, it is called the SBD Raleigh meet. The venue was located in Durham, North Carolina, not to get it confused or twisted, but none of that really matters. But it was basically my backyard. So it's about a 25-minute drive for me. And to be able to have family come out, to be able to have friends come out, like lifelong friends that I've had since, you know, early school days, is like, it was just a phenomenal time. I had my friend Lisa, who traveled from Florida to come to this meet, which was crazy. She aligned it with, you know, hanging out with her friends to be able to do more things, right? Because it is definitely a drive. To drive from Florida to even just come, dropped off a gift, and just to watch me compete the entire meet. Like, she stayed the entire meet and then drove home right after that. It was so insane and crazy to know that I had so many people out there, you know, cheering for me, wanting to be a part of the moment with me, and also people who love me and support me unconditionally. It just, like, it did something to me on the day. Like, I was very, like, overwhelmed and overcome with emotion, because it's been since 2017 since I've competed in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it's been early 2018 since I competed in North Carolina. So it's been like 7 years or so since I've competed anywhere close to being at home. So to be able to do that, man, on my home turf, I think just carried so much more weight for me. And like, I definitely wanted to squat 800 on the day, but I knew that I shouldn't be making the calls for the day, right? So I definitely, like, that was one of the primary conversations with Marcellus, and it was like, hey man, this is my goal. 800 is the secondary goal. As much as I want to do this, I need to get every kilo I can on the day, and to have someone that's going to be objective, because there's always going to be time to squat that. And I just needed someone with a clear head to know, like, I just needed someone with a clear head to know that that's a goal. And also Becca's definitely there for that as well too. She's a great game day handler as well, and just knows what I need whenever I need it. So yeah, a lot of those moments just build up to that, and like the culmination of everything I worked for, from, you know, having a very lackluster meet last year to not wanting to compete this year, to grow, to build, and to, you know, grow a family, or to, you know, and to have a family, which we'll get into in another video. I keep saying that, but the next video we'll talk about it. It's to have a family and to start all that up, only for, you know, this meet to kind of drop in my lap. It kind of dropped in my lap at the right point in time too. So to get back into meet prep, still working through some injuries, man. Like I am. That is just the the truth of the matter. So, that's why we ended up switching to conventional, because I just couldn't maintain sumo. I couldn't maintain doing sumo with the injuries I had. It just wasn't working. It was hurting. It still is to this day. I have groin issues right now. Like, there's all these issues that I'm having, but I was just like, I'd be a fool not to do this meet. And I wanted to be a part of something that felt like it was the start of something great. If not the start, it was a part of something great that has been happening. It just felt like it was a start for me. And this was my first Powerlifting America debut as a 93 kg. So I think it did an amazing job for my first meet. But I can talk and talk and talk all day. Let's go ahead and get into these bench videos. So these bench videos, I can kind of keep it simple because there's not really a lot to talk about, because I had a video that I just posted that kind of went on basically to cover my last week of training, where I had like this freak incident benching 385 pounds. I had a minor, or at the time didn't feel so minor, but had this strain in my chest or pec, and it caused me a lot of issues going into the meet just a few days out. So that sucked so much. It actually bothered with me mentally on top of all the other things. And I just kept telling myself, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'm strong enough. I'll be fine. And yeah, so we opened up at, what my best lift was, 418, 190 kg. We opened up at that. I talked to Marcellus about it earlier in the week, so he wasn't surprised by anything and not caught off guard. So we knew bench was going to take a hit. We didn't know by how much. We were not sure. Again, I benched a little bit, but I didn't bench much leading into this meet. I did what I did on my primary day, but then the issue happened right after. So I was like, okay, I just got to get my opener and I'll be fine, and we can scratch the other two. That literally was the conversation. It's like, we can get my opener. That's all we need. Scratch the other two if we have to. Luckily, that moved okay, but my right arm was shaking so bad. I had no idea what was going on. Obviously, I did. I was feeling some things, obviously, but we knew we had at least one more in us, and Marcellus actually made a really, really good call. Basically, I think 200 was supposed to be the second attempt, so that's 440, and I think Marcellus met me at 197 and a half, maybe. I think that's what it was. Yeah, 197 and a half, so 7.5 kilos more. So we kind of just picked a number that we knew, or he knew, that was possible. And luckily it was the perfect call, because I got it. But after that, I get up and I shrug, because I was like, I don't really know if I have anything else in me. And basically that's kind of what that meant. I was like, because I told him I would get up and tell him more or less, meaning like we can go up more or we can just keep it lower. I had no idea. I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling, but I'm not really feeling confident or strong in this lift, because I think we were projected 452 to 460 on the day. And I think that would have been a great projection had I not strained or whatever my pec. So as the meet progressed, that started causing me more issues, which we're going to bleed into deadlifts now. But I do want to say I'm very proud of my bench still, to be able to still show up. I PR'd my squat. I PR'd my bench. I think I PR'd my bench by 7.5 kilos. God knows how much I PR'd my squat by. I think 20 kilos maybe of my best lift I've done back in the day. I think I did at 93 in 2021. I think I did 744. So obviously I PR'd. I haven't been in this weight class for a very long time consistently. So I still have a lot of room to grow from there, which is really, really exciting. So I'm going to give myself a lot of grace there, because I have so much more time to build, which is scary in the best way. The opener moved really smooth. Everything felt heavy in the back for some reason, but the opener moved really smooth. I believe we opened up at 640, so 290 kg, 639 pounds, 640, whatever. And I told Marcellus, I was like, we have to open up at this conventional, because this is the lift from last meet that haunted me during sumo. Like, I just couldn't pull it. I was banged up too bad to even lift the weight, and it almost made me bomb out the meet as a guest lifter, which is embarrassing on top of embarrassing. So I was like, no matter what, we're going to open up at this weight, because this is a confidence boost. And we did pretty well. So I opened up, and that's why I give that like little, fist bump, like, yeah, we got this. So then from there, we jump up to, I believe, 672. I'm not really sure what the numbers were for deadlifts. I didn't really care. I just wanted to we didn't know what we had in the tank for deadlifts. We didn't know how the transition was going to happen from training to the platform. We know squat showed up. We know bench would have showed up, but it showed up as best as it could on the day. So everything is basically a lateral shift. So everything I did in training was showing up on the platform. So we can only assume at this point deadlifts would too, but I've never conventional before in a meet, so we had no idea how it was going to shake up. So everything was pretty much tit for tat from training to the platform, which I was hoping for a boost in deadlifts, and I guess I just kind of stayed flatline with it. But yeah, so the second attempt, the bar started slipping a little bit because my callus was ripped at that point. And so the bar started slipping a little bit. Luckily, I got the down command. That was okay. Not to the standard that I would like, but it was fine. It passed. And then I come back out on the third attempt and we do 310, which basically is only 10 kg off of my best sumo, which again, that's saying a lot because I've done sumo my entire career and I finally switched conventional and we're 10 kg off my best sumo. So we end up pulling that. It moves pretty well. I think I have a lot of potential in my conventional. The whole callus situation, obviously you can get that figured out super easily. So next time around, we'll have that situated because I definitely felt it started to slip on that 310 as well too, which I've never had grip issues. So that's just something that, started happening in training when these things started like peeling off because it was a deep cut. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll figure that shit out. Yeah, so that moved well. I was happy with that more so than I did with the second. So I was more happy with the third. But yeah, so I ended up finishing out with an 865 kg total. So a nice little PR total. And my first 93 kg debut meet. I think there's a lot of potential there, man. I won't be competing again until Powerlifting America Nationals. I'm expecting to do so much more. I'm expecting a bigger squat, a bigger bench, and well over the 700 deadlift for my conventional. So yeah, I am officially conventional from here on out. The meet solidified that I have a lot of potential there, seeing how I've been pulling sumo all of these, 7-8 years. And the most I've ever pulled in comp was 320, 705 pounds. And I'm pulling 310 right off the rip for my conventional. So there's a lot of potential there. We're going to ride that wave. But yeah, overall thoughts, opinions and things like that. I think this was the meet was amazing, hosted by Megan. She did a phenomenal job. Beautiful meet. I was just happy I had an opportunity to be a part of this meet. That was just a dope experience for me myself. You didn't have any like jumbotrons, no massive electronics or anything like that. Just simple, classic, back to the platform type meet, which was phenomenal because all you got to do is highlight the lifters and focus on the competition itself. It was a one platform meet, a primetime session, and it was a local meet with highly competitive athletes. So you can have those local meets and they be super highly competitive and whatnot. So I was just happy I had an opportunity to be a part of this meet more than anything, and to have my family and friends come up and show up and to be able to watch what I do in person versus online. I've even been told by, I think Evan had said, like, I've never seen you compete in person. And I was like, what do you mean? You've been to nationals with me. He goes, yeah, but I was in the room. I watched you online because I had to meet the next day. And I was like, oh, because I had to compete the next day. And I was like, I've never thought about that. So I've had friends that I've trained with consistently that have never actually seen me compete. And I always say that I'm a different type of competitor than I am in the gym. But if I allowed myself to just be the type of competitor that I am on the platform in the gym all the time, people will probably get annoyed of me because I can be a little much on the platform. But I just enjoy competing. I love competing. It's the culmination of everything I've done for those months and months and months on end of training. Now I get to go out here and just compete and showcase everything that I've done in the gym, but for a crowd of people, for cameras, for videos. I'm going to go all out. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to show you what I've been cooking up. Like, why would I not? So I'm not going to calm down or tone my energy down for anyone. My goal is to put on a show. My goal is to put up the best total I can for the day, and my goal is to walk away going like I had a good fucking time. People tend to forget that about the sport. They go in with this linear idea of this is how it's going to go, and when it doesn't go their way, they're upset, mad, and it's on to the next. And that happens sometimes. That's powerlifting. Powerlifting isn't the most forgiving sport. We don't compete back to back to back. We don't have a season where we compete week after week after week. It just doesn't work like that for a lot of us. So you got to enjoy every moment you possibly can. If not, that moment's going to pass you by, and one day you're just going to sit by and go, dang, I really should have appreciated what I had in that moment, because now that moment's gone. Or you may not ever get another opportunity to have that type of moment. When you break a record, when you do something crazy, when you have an amazing comeback, when you do just whatever the story is, live in that moment. The moment's yours. No one else's, and no one can take that from you, because it's your story to be told, and you can't let someone else write your story for you, which is why I enjoy doing these YouTube videos, which is why I enjoy doing content for you guys, because it's my story that I'm telling, and no one else can tell it but me. And you get to watch the story that I'm telling and that I'm showing, and you get it all here. As I always say, I don't try to sugarcoat or hide anything. That's not true to my character. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I just, again, absolutely loved and enjoyed the meet. I had an amazing time with family and friends. Shout out to Pete from SBD for just everything that he does. Shout out to the SBD media team, Top Set Media. I'm getting hella shout outs. Shout out to Meg for putting on the meet. Shout out to whatever team that Meg has behind her that is helping her, even being an emotional and mental support system. Shout out to Marshall, Eddie for doing those videos for me. But yeah, shout out to everyone involved in the space. And also, very, very important, shout out to the spotting and loading crew. You guys were absolutely amazing. The amount of encouragement and a lot of the things you said was just so dope. But yeah, this was my meet recap. I want to make sure I just get this out because it's been long overdue. But if you have any questions about my feelings on the day, any questions about anything, really, just drop them in the comment section below. You know how it goes. I'll respond to you guys there. I love the little community that we've built together here on this channel. And I want to continue to grow that and showcase all the things that I do. You can support me by clicking any of the links in the description box below and shopping for any of those brands, whether it be Buff Chick Supplements, SBD. For most of those brands, I do have a discount code, and that's Pancakegawd. However, for something like SBD, it's a link you have to click and shop through. So you shop through by clicking the link and buying anything there. And we all, as athletes, do get a kickback from that. And that does help support us as the athlete. And it helps support and grow this channel so that I can continue to do all the things that I'm doing, as I always say, and to be the athlete that I can be. I hope that you guys enjoyed the show. And I really appreciate the support that I have been getting from you all. It's been overwhelming. Thank you all for commenting, and thank you all for sending your love and support and praise in my DMs. I don't know if I even got back to everyone, but just know I'm here now saying that thank you. I appreciate you. It means a lot. It goes a long way, as always. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.